Good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar with Bruce. I'll be your host. We're going to go through the live order flow. Good morning, in Bookmap, and take a look at the markets, any markets that you guys want. Actually, we're going to focus a little bit more on, well, like I said, any markets you guys want, but we're going to also take a look at crypto. I have some interesting news about all of that. Let's get into the disclosures, and then we'll move forward. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so the trading journal. Yeah, I want to cover that as well. Some interesting stuff, guys, to go through here regarding crypto. We have, all-time highs are pretty, well, it's dropping now. And we were up to, it's dropped like 10,000 almost. We were up at 72,000 last week and starting to drop now. However, what we're going to have this starting on Thursday, a competition for the Bookmap Academy members, all Academy members, Junior Academy, applicants to the Junior Academy, Bookmap Academy members, whomever. The goal here is to, we're coupling it along with the madness here in crypto with the basketball tournament that we have starting tomorrow, Wednesday. So we have the March Madness NCAA men's basketball tournament tomorrow, and then we'll start our crypto tournament, Crypto Madness tournament on Thursday, the next day. Right. We also have upcoming webinar, as you guys might know, with Carmine Rosado. That is tomorrow. You can go to our YouTube channel here and you can see it right here. You can sign up and register for it. It will be both in our Discord channel as well as on YouTube. Okay, and he's going to go through debriefing and using the Bookmap replay mode is such an important part, and is such an underutilized tool within Bookmap, is to be able to record your data and review your trades back in Bookmap after the session. So it's fantastic. I mean, it's really how you can ramp up your learning tremendously, it's kind of like forward testing basically, and you're just doing it at the end of the day. This is easier than back testing, a lot easier, and it just makes a lot more sense. Anyway, we'll get into more and more of this as we move forward. Let's take a look at the Carmine's webinar, and we'll see what he has to say in his process. We're going to start to do more sessions like this as well. Okay. All right, so let me jump in here to get into the meat of stuff in here. All right, so we got Bitcoin here. Like I said, we see some buying starting to come in here, but some selling, countered by some buying, countered by some selling. It's just mildly trending down here. $600 is not much. Here we go. Here's a little action. All right, so interesting. I don't know what I think of that. It's some pretty strong sell volume, but I don't know if I would get on the hook there for that. If we see more selling coming in, this is where it looks to go here. Is at 62,700, and we have 62,500 down below as well. Okay, so anyway, just keeping an eye on that, and look at 62,000 down here. Lots of liquidity down there. Let's see if is Bitcoin ready to drop into that liquidity here. We got to be careful with Bitcoin. At least this is from my experience. You get these moves like this, and then we look for exhaustion on the sell side in here. If we get it, we'd look for buyers to come in right back up above this 63,100. Okay, so look at the way that this sold off in here. And this, what we're going over here in Bitcoin, well, it'll apply to all markets. Okay, we'll look at the S&P in just a minute. We're looking for that strong, consistent volume moving price away from a range or a zone. And if we get it, then we look for continuation move. Right? Bitcoin is infamous for doing this kind of move quickly, seeing very little transact down here, coming right back up above this area here, and then seeing lots of buy volume. And move it back into the range and maybe to the other side of the range. Okay, so we want to look at this relative volume to understand if it's going to be upended or continue in the downtrends. So right now you can see we're getting our pullback, and this is the area to eye right here. Okay, along with the selling in here. Okay, so big selling initially kind of tapers off, and we'll see if buying comes back in, and then especially back up above here at this 63,100, and then we can look for a move back into the range and maybe back to the top of the range around this 63,500 or 600. All right, let's move on to the S&P and take a look in here. All right, so yeah, S&P also, you can see the cash open here at 9:30, and you know, we had inched up during the overnight above 5,200 right here. Lots of buy volume in there, moving price back up into this 52.05, and then we see the sell-off after the open, cash open, and then some nice buying in here, but just not enough to raise price higher, followed by more selling. And then look at the buying just kind of climbing back up toward this area of liquidity. And then now we're back down to the bottom of the range here. So we want to understand, again, this price action here within context. Okay, what's going on? Here's some, look at the retest here and the buying. And look at the selling starting to come in. All right, so now we know that there's a lot of buying in here. We also know that there is also a lot of selling. Okay, so we don't have too much of an outlook here on this. Here is the buying that we're looking at in the most recent price action, and then the selling that we're looking at. Well, you can see that there's not a whole lot in here, but we're seeing it in here now. All right, so we don't know quite yet. We do see the heavy selling in here, and that's a good sign that if sellers want to come in, then we'd be looking for the move back down to this 96 area or so down here. Okay, but right now it's just we don't have too much of an opinion. We do know that there is a trend here, trend line that was broken, and all we have seen so far is a nice cluster of selling back down to the swing here, but we have not broken the swing, just tested to 5,200 here. Okay, and we see the buying come back in. Understanding and going through this process right here, what we just did, will keep you away from selling this and looking for a move back down into here, you know, getting trapped. Right now, we don't, like we said, we don't know here. We're just not. We're reading the buyers and sellers activity, if now we're getting a bit more information in here now. Okay, we see some buying that came in, but look at the swing. Here's our context in here. We're talking about context of market structure. All right, so now I'm actually looking for more selling in here, right where we are right now, and we're going to look at the order book as well. And we're looking for, and let me get we're looking for these sellers. All right, so here they come. Now let's see if they can now drop it, not just to the swing here. Okay, we'd be looking for further than that. Okay, we're looking for more selling to this 198.50, this 197, and then maybe this 195 down here. Okay, where is the first way area of liquidity? It's roughly around this 96 to 98 level, but 96.75, you can see it coming in, some higher liquidity in here. All right, so let's see if we can get these sellers to pick it up right here. Here's our retest, trying to break below 5,200. We're right at the figure here, and we're not getting it. All right, so why aren't we getting it? Well, there's just not enough selling here. We're also in, look at your volume profile in here, and look at this nice single distribution here. We're right at the high volume node. Okay, and we know that to move price away from this high volume node in here, we need volume. Okay, the order book will help us as well. We can see that high liquidity came in here at this 03 level, but there's not, it's kind of dark in here right now. Okay, here's a little bit on the bid, and look at that. Okay, so buyers or sellers are attracted to it. So looking for our sellers in here to trade into this 198 or 199, I should say, and let's see if they can drop it back down into this 96 3/4 and then 95. Okay, starting to come in, and look, now we're looking for that. Well, yeah, if they're going to continue to try to see if we can, if they come in and try to move it away from that area. Right now, you know, we have a market structure as well. That's a kind of a loose channel here, and starting to hit some liquidity here. Okay, at that around that 198.5 area here. All right, so we're looking for them to move it, and this is what we got. Okay, some of the selling coming in, a move back up here, and retest maybe this high volume node, and let's see though if we have a lack of buying in here again, followed by more selling. Okay, a little bit of skew in the order book. We see that there's more liquidity in here at this 02 area here. Okay, so we're looking for same scenario again, are more selling in here to try to drive this through into lower lows here. And here we go. All right, sellers, now let's see, we're still in this kind of channel here. Just getting a lack of buying though, right? So it looks like sellers want to move it. Let's take a look at a pullback here. All right, let's see it, sellers. Let's see it into this 96 3/4 and 94 3/4. Okay, the offer looks pretty good. The bid, they pulled some here. That's good, but they're still in here as well. And we're still looking for this to trend lower. Let's see, Darren, you have a question? Philosophical question, perhaps. All right, let's see. It looks like there's more volume at higher highs. Does this mean it acts as a level of resistance, or if there's no obvious volume, that there's nothing to sell into, so it might not be incentive to move up? No, I mean, what we want to look at is it's always context in here, and I know it's kind of like hiding behind that answer, but it really is true. Let's look at the condition of the order flow. We're not looking for it to go higher here. We're looking for it to go lower due to what we've covered in here, right? So and that's what we're having unfold here. Now we also have a swing down here. This is just a good level here, this 95, because we have high liquidity there. It's at the swing here. The sellers have to break a low from the cash session though, so that's going to take some selling. Who's going to want to sell into that, right? So that's why we're getting a bit of a bounce right now. Okay, maybe a bit of covering by some of the buyers, maybe buyers scooping it up, trying to move it back into this 01 level, or high volume node, if they can here, right? So I'm not sure I quite understand your question. You're talking about these higher highs in here, is that right, Darren? Let me go over to Discord also, get into questions here. Morning, everybody. Okay, thanks, Trader. Looks like you answered a question yesterday about or this morning about stops and icebergs. Morning, Stephen. Another thing in here, I mean, let's talk about a little bit about the choppy action in here. I mean, the smaller trend, we were looking for the move down, and we covered the liquidity down here is a nice area, but that means that the sellers have to break the low, and who wants to sell into that, right? On a kind of choppy day so far. Okay, so we may see it. It's pretty good, strong selling here. We see this cluster of buying in here, though, that is pretty strong, right? So it kind of convolutes our message here, or our short position. Now, if that is the case, and you don't know, now buyers can come streaming in here and move it right back up into here. And suppose, and it's all hypothetical, this is not a trading room nor trading recommendation. Okay? We don't do that. This is about reading order flow and integrating order flow within your trading activity. But the idea here is, if you don't know, then, and you see this buying coming in, get out. Like, that you're done. It came back down and kind of very close to the low. It's choppy as it is. We see this cluster of buying coming back in. There is a higher probability and likelihood that will come back up into this high volume node up in here, or just back up into where it can transact. Okay? And because we know that there's buyers and sellers in all of this action in here. We do see the sellers moving it away. We were looking for that. Okay? We also see some buyers now starting to come back in. Right? So especially on choppy days, don't. I mean, one of the ways to look at your trade management in here is to just take what the market gives you. You're not expecting a big move to the downside. I mean, we have FOMC tomorrow, and there's a lot going on. In fact, some of you mean reversion traders, maybe here they come, right? And this is where you could consider just hopping on and taking a little bit out of the market back up to maybe you can make it up to 5202, right? So as soon as you see that cluster in here, you're looking for it to work immediately, basically. Okay, so it would be a quick scalp, and you're not looking for much. Okay, a couple points, and there we go. Okay, and again, like, well, I mean, maybe you hold on to it, but I'd take it off. This is my target. This is the high volume node. It's the swing. There's high liquidity. I'd be out. Okay, maybe some of you guys are looking for more though, and looking for it to come up into 05 up here. Okay, this liquidity, and looking for a stop run, big one. Okay, a short squeeze here up into the swing, and maybe just kind of breach it, get a lot of people stopped out, and that's your prerogative, your trading plan or your trading management plan. Right? It's a consideration, and you know, just justify it. Anyway, let me see if there's any other questions in here. Darren, getting back to you. Trying to figure out how to understand the story of volume and price are telling you. Yeah, no, we go through this all the time in these webinars in here. That's what these all market webinars are about. It's about creating this order flow foundation for you guys to integrate into whatever type of trading you use. Okay, because you know, maybe it's a certain style that you like with floor trader pivots or volume profile, market profile. You know, maybe it's patterns, etc. It doesn't really matter. All of those ways of trading are made up of order flow anyway. So being able to better read and understand the order flow and transactions within those methods of trading is going to help you. Yeah, no, this is good to ask the questions in here. Happy to go through it, Darren. Use that as and leverage that in here. That's what these webinars are for. Yeah, and it's not all about, you know, all about volume. Okay, this is where Bookmap shines. It's about understanding the order flow part as well, and not just the transactions flow. Okay, we're talking about the limit buy and sell orders. It has tremendous impact on the markets. Okay, and you know, supposedly, well, technically, it can't move the market, but it does because you'll see the influence it has. It's kind of like maybe a saber rattling or something in here. Like, look, here's a guy who just came in here with pretty high liquidity. Now it's one individual actor, and he just pulled it too, right? Just before it transacted. See that? Okay, some transacted there, but you know, he's kind of testing the market. You know, will this repel? And look where he's testing it too. He's testing it right here at this 5200 or just below it here, and to see if like maybe there's more buyers that due to his action in here. Maybe there'd be more buyers. It gives insight, and we're going to use him as well and understand. From that we can gather there's some selling pressure still in here. Okay, sellers went after it, and that guy pulled. Okay, it's come down now to this 97 level. They also pulled a lot of that liquidity. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, if we get more sellers in here, okay, we're looking for our move back down into our 95 and maybe through it, 94, maybe 90. Anyway, what we're talking about in here is more of a choppy session and taking what you can get. So on this move down, like, take what you can get. On this move back up, take what you can get out of the market. You're not really looking for too much, right? I mean, this in hindsight, it's always easy. in hindsight. In hindsight, you shoot 100%. In hindsight, though, this was a good decision to manage the trade this way. Now, that said, I mean, would you kick yourself and just, you know, kick and scream and say, God, I knew it was going to come up into 05? Well, you don't know that, though. All you know is that it's pretty choppy today, and that you're looking for a move back up into just back up into this, you know, volume profile in here, where there's just a lot of trading activity, okay, and some of these swings in here. That's about it. I mean, that much we know, right? So you can manage your trade that way as well. All right. Yeah, let's jump back in here. Boy, we're really not seeing much. You know, we're looking for clarity in this move to the downside, and then we look for a little bit of clarity on this move to the upside in here. We got that, but we're just look at this in the bigger picture perspective here. Look at the buying and selling. Look at the price action in the range in here, and also the order flow. You know, most of the sellers are up, limit sell orders are up here at 05. Most of the limit buys are down here around this 95. They were kind of just gyrating within a 10-point range, and we're really not seeing much. Look at the volume in here. And what is it telling us? Not much. I mean, we covered it earlier. It's all over the place. There's sellers, there's buyers, there's sellers, there's buyers. In fact, this is actually looking for, well, it's not much to look at, but there's a bit more buying in here on this move. Okay, so maybe if we can get a bit more buying in here, and if we have something that really tells us, like, do we see big volume dot? Do we see the order flow on the bid in here? A little bit, right? So yeah, I mean, we can look for this move back up into like this 03 and maybe 05 at this time, due to this relative volume within the price structure. It's just not so likely. Okay, now here's what we can read into it. And Darren, this answers your question again, I hope. Here we had nice selling, and we were looking for that move. And then, you know, we had a cluster of buying. Look at the relative volume in here in the bars. Okay, the bars actually describe it or display it pretty nicely. The dots do too, but you know, they do it really well within the price action. Okay, the price structure. That's where I love both of these a lot. Looking at the bars and looking at the dots, because I have the context of where it's trading here, which is telling me a tremendous amount. Then I have the relative volume here telling me a tremendous amount as well. Okay, so here's the selling, and here's the buying. Now, doesn't that make sense to me then, that we can look at this as kind of a line going across? And if we do get our buyers, and we saw them in real time, so we were looking for the move back up into this this area right here, which was 02, right? Went up a bit higher, but that was it. Okay, so now moving forward, what do we see? Okay, so we're going to erase the drawings, and we're going to look at this from this point onward. Okay, so here's our relative buying, and then here's our relative selling in here. Okay, there's more buyers. Okay, now the sellers actually made it below the buyers in here, okay, around in this area here, but we, they basically have the opportunity then to really pick it up in here, but they didn't. Okay, we traded into this liquidity here at 97, and look at the selling here relative to the price action. Okay, that's why we were looking for maybe buyers to come in and come back up into this swing here. Right, makes sense. Okay, because this is strong and this is less strong. Okay, so now look at the relative volume in here again by understanding this selling compared to this buying here. You know that that's going to be the line to cross right there, because that's where the selling initiated on the move down. Okay, now let's look at our relative volume in here compared to over here. Okay, there's more buying, right? If we're trending down, we're not looking for more buying, right? That's why we would look for the move at just at least up to the swing here at 03. Any questions on this? No? Boy, it's pretty quiet over in Discord. You guys, no questions? Darren, let's see here. You will get your answer regarding does the liquidity act like a magnet or not? Okay, it doesn't always. We saw that high liquidity come in and it can repel a price, right? But in general, it's pretty simple. If the buyers want to meet the sellers, here they are up at 05. Now look at this move up into 03. Okay, we see quite a bit of volume here on the buy side. Right, so now then let's see if we can get a little bit more. There they are. Now we should see the move into 05. And now we know that this was there was high liquidity in here, and this is where we want to read this context in here. There's some high liquidity here. It transacted. We're still seeing some buyers. Now we're seeing some sellers though. Okay, and this is where the order book can really help us. What we're looking for in the order book here is we know there's high liquidity here, and we know there's high liquidity up here. Okay, that's where the sellers are if buyers want to meet them. However, we don't have too much influence, and we're looking for that influence from the bid side. Okay, especially pretty close to price. If we see high liquidity come in here around this 02, and the reaction repels sellers and we find buyers, the likelihood for coming up into 05 is higher, right? We've read the context in here. Okay, so that's where we have something that's telling us something more. See how that happened very, very quickly, but it illustrates the point. Look at this high liquidity that came in here. We found our buyer. Now we found the buyers a little bit earlier, and then we found the high liquidity. Okay, here it is here, right? Buyers started to come in, right? So we were looking for the move up into 05. We just didn't have all the pieces at this point here. We were illustrating what it might look like though if they do come in. Okay, and hard one to react to in real time unless you just kind of you see that volume right at the moment in here and you're looking for it. Okay, and that would just be a quick scalp. Now what we want to read though is the relative volume again as a breakout here, because this is now broken through the swing high for the day here in the cash session and through this liquidity in here. Looks pretty good. Okay, so what are we looking for when we want to move away from a high volume node in here? Okay, it's a question for you guys. A dome column, that's the RB and the RA columns. Let me bring it up in here. Where's Dome Pro? You will have access to Dome Pro if you are a subscriber to Bookmap Global Plus. Okay. So if you hover over here, it tells you what it is, Shark Blue. Okay, so this is recent bid trades. These are recent ask. Yeah, thanks, thanks, Alois. He's all over it. Alois, you're like a product expert in here. Yeah, just hover over these little areas in here, and should give you your answer. You can also go to the Bookmap knowledge base. Okay, let me show you how or where. Boy, actually, you know, yeah, just go click on the more button and you go right. You can go to the knowledge base under resources here, and then you need to go to the add-ons section here, and then you'll see Dome Pro in here. And then in the left margin, all the add-ons are in here. In the middle is the content, and then on the right side though are the different sections within the main content. I don't quite understand. Aitken Blue Bull. You have Global Plus, and we'll get the lifetime license. Okay, next month. Okay, understood. How do you get a role on the server? Not sure what you mean. On Discord, I mean as a moderator, or I'm not sure what you're looking for. Anyway, guys, all right, so now anyway, the answer to the question was we're looking for strong volume to rip price away from this. This is attractive for price. This is value. This is exploring new value. So we are looking for buyers in here at this time to lift it to 10, because we see, look at this strong buy volume in here. Right now, it's not going to be as easy as that. We're going to get, you know, back and forth in here. So that's when we put in the market structure, and that's when we look at the order flow to give us more insight. Okay, market structure wise, well, we can just let me clean all the drawings here, and let's go through it. Market structure wise, we can have a trend line. Okay, we can have horizontal lines. Where did price break out? Here. Okay, well, that's, you know, that's going to be a low volume node. It is. You can see it right here. And all of this buy volume in here and some of this sell volume has created a new profile. Okay, so now we can put together some of these ideas in here too. Okay, we can also look at maybe a range in here. The range has been up to here. Okay, so we also have a smaller range in here. Okay, we have a swing here. Okay, we're looking at these smaller elements within the market structure. Okay, now look at the order flow as well. So I see some selling liquidity up here at 08, and buyers are just trading into it. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking for this move to continue on up into 09 and 10. Okay, now, what else do we have in here though? Okay, to really make this confluence in the order flow better? Okay, well, I need to see high liquidity underneath. We do have it here. Okay, what's the reaction? We're still getting buyers. Okay, now they're starting to pull that though, and we're not getting our buyers. We're starting to get sellers here. All right, so actually right in here, sellers have the opportunity to sell down to 06. Okay, but we're still bullish. We're still bullish in here. Okay, we just tested up here a few times, and look at the volume trading up here too. Okay, this is really strong volume here. This is not. This is a lot weaker. Here's our retest back up here, a lot weaker. All right, I am looking for sellers to drop it here into 006, or at least test the trend line, maybe the horizontal structure here. There they go. Okay, now again, this is scalping. This is a real-time read in here. We can do it on higher time frames too, but we do it in here on the lower time frames so that we can read it in real time. Okay, so here come the sellers. There's still more selling, right? But I'm looking actually for some buyers to come back up maybe around here, around this 06.5 area. Okay, and then try to press it back up to like 07.5, maybe back up to this 08.25, and then get our breakout here. Okay, this has been the retest that we're talking about. Now we're looking for the buyers to come back in and try to break it out into 09.10. I think up at 13 we saw some more. Yeah, 13.25. Yeah, we have a footprint chart as well. You will also get access to that. I don't think has it been released completely? It's part of the Global Plus, I believe. I'll have to double check on that. Okay, I can demo it though for you. Let's just take a quick look here. Go to bookmap.com and pricing. And you can scroll down a little bit here and then add on or click on compare packages. And we can zoom in here and look at some of the add-ons, advanced add-ons here. See our footprint in. Now, I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for you on that yet. All right, guys, we're still looking to see if we can get those buyers in here. Okay, back up here. Let's see it, and let's also look for the order flow to help us here. So the buying's starting to mount. Okay, what about the book on the bid? These guys are staying in the book on the offer. But they seem to be attracted to it. A little bit more on the bid, but down here at the bottom of the range. We want to see the skew in here, kind of in the middle of this range. And basically, see how they're pulling here? This is a good sign. Now, let's see if we can get our skew in here in the book around this 07. Okay, so that's what we'd be looking for. Right, so we'd be looking for high liquidity coming in here. Right, these guys have pulled, so that's good. So now we're looking for our buyers here. Here's a little bit of a skew. Now let's see if we can get a little bit more buying. They should be able to trade into 09 and 10. Okay, now look at 09. Okay, this is dynamic. Okay, someone wants to sell now a lot more. They're kind of testing the market. Let's see if they pull. Let's see if they transact. Okay, see how that had an effect on price? It was looking pretty good. We had a little bit of a skew here, so we're looking for it to just, come up into 09 or 10 in here. Anyway, not much of an opportunity nonetheless. It's just not telling us too much, but we're still going to look for it here. So now we're back down to the bottom of this range here, and let's see if we get some buyers. Get a few more. So a nice cluster of selling. And still, I know there's still some buyers in here, so we're still looking for maybe a move back up to around this 08 and a half. Makes sense, guys. Like as we talked about this, the that relative volume in here within the order flow, and when we don't see, like here we see the rip away from value, so that's why we're still looking for this to go higher and establish and create a new value area up here. But when we don't see it and we don't have much of a bias, we know there's still buyers in here. We know there's sellers in here too. Okay, up in here and up in here is not really telling us too much, and we actually see some selling in here as well. So there's really no bias in here, and this is the context we're reading: volume within structure. Okay, now we're adding in the order flow as well, looking at the limit buy orders and limit sell orders. A little bit of reaction off of this liquidity, found some buyers. There's a bit of a skew in here on the bid, a little bit there, but sellers just traded into it. And there's a bit of a skew here at 08 as well, right here. There's a little bit more skew. All right, so this is getting kind of interesting in here, and more selling down here. So let's see if sellers can actually break this here. Okay, there's a lack of buying there. Lower high here, lower high here. But we really need to see a lot of buyers in here. Back up around this 07.5. If we get it, then I'd be looking for 09 and 10. Okay, starting to get it. Let's see it, buyers. Then you can move this now. Right. Anyway, guys, I don't really care so much about. It's not about calling the market and being right or wrong in here. It's truly reading about reading the order flow, the transactions in the market structure to give us insight to the potential for a move. The more we understand the participants' behavior in here, the better insight we get for a move. I'm sorry, I still need to show the footprint here. Jack, good. Thanks for reminding me. All right, so you can add footprint in here. We can take a look at it. I also want to go through the trading statistics in here, as well as the trading journal that we have. And we're going to focus on these tools in here. Take the dome off for now. We're going to focus on these tools for the trading competition. Guys, this is going to be exclusive trading competition for the Bookmap Academy members. right? So I'll go over that in just a minute here, but let's add your footprint chart, and let's look for this breakout here, looking better and better in here for like 09 to 10 to 13 here. Okay, there they go. All right, and now even 13 and a quarter pulled up here, so they're up now at 15, it looks like. Okay, so again, we're looking for this skew in the order book followed by this volume to rip price away from this value area here. Guys, this is how you can get your trending profiles. Your trending profiles look like this. Okay, so you've got this one, you look for another one, and you look for another one. Okay, and we also, you can see it in here as well, right? So that's when it's especially like on days when you really see that volume pick up. I mean, you'd look for that. You'd look for this to carry price away from this value area here. Okay, they're even on the bid there at a higher level. Okay, now they're not. Now we see the selling coming in. Guys, but this is the game that is played all day long. Okay, and it is disruptive to where we're looking for price to go, for sure. But it's part of the game. This is just the players in the market. Okay, so how do we deal with it? Well, risk management is a great way to deal with it, as well as just believing in your process, okay? Knowing that you have an edge or not from your testing. So let's get to the footprint chart in here, and I'll just go through it. All right, this is a great footprint tool. I really like it. We have your footprint bar type here as time interval, reversal. If you select reversal, you have a reversal by ticks. If it goes 10 ticks, then a new bar starts. Okay, range, again, ticks, a new bar starts. Volume in here, you can put in whatever you want. Input, a bar would be 10,000 in the S&P, and a new bar will start after that. Okay, now we also have, I really like this kind of time interval. If you don't want to, well, uncheck the horizontal scaling, you can put in a time interval of your choice here. All right, I like this feature in here. The programmers created this auto scaling. So what this means is if I zoom in here, I'll get a scaling in here, which is really nice. So I can see a smaller footprint. Right, so it kind of breaks it down in here a little bit. All right, so anyway, you can see a footprint type is overlaying here. Let me just, I'm going to take down the dots and bars in here so that we can see the footprint a little bit better. All right, so if you like this view, well, you've got it. You know, you can look at it. You can take more things off the chart if you want, to better see your footprint. It's up to you. We've got the information here. This is a footprint type of histogram with a diagonal delta. Okay, there's many types in here. There's none. There's a histogram. There's the histogram delta. Okay, so buyers or sellers dominating one price level or the next. Then we have the diagonal delta, which is pretty traditional. We've also just got regular buy versus selling across from each other, not diagonally. Okay, it's similar to this one, except it's just not a delta. It is just a histogram. Okay, this is actually the classic version. We've got a full background here, or we've got a delta background as well. These are the different types for the body or the bar, or background, I should say. Okay, so we also have the text type here. Okay, so if you, I'm sorry, this is background. Let's go back here. All right, so the footprint type down here is buyers times sellers right across from each other. You can look at summation. Okay, buyers and sellers. You can look at the horizontal delta, so buy minus sell on the same price level, or diagonal, okay, buy minus sell. All right, so you can match your background type with your footprint type, or maybe you don't want to show the text. It's up to you. Okay, we also have lots of columns here, or I should say subchart bars. I find these actually very, very helpful. Look, you have many boxes to check in here. If you don't want to show them, don't show them. If you want to see the legend here of what they are, you can. You can see that I've got it here as delta, sum of the bid trades, sum of the ask trades, and then sum of all of the trades. This is something I like, just looking. The primary number, the most important one being the top one here, is the delta. Okay, but I can then look and compare the buyers, the sellers, and then the total sum here as well, okay, to give me additional insight and kind of a context with the numbers in here. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's look at the delta in here. Let's read this, and then we'll read the order flow. Right, and then I'll show you another configuration in here as well. So here's some negative delta, negative, negative, pretty strong negative here. Okay, very little positive, negative, negative, negative. All right, a little bit of positive, a little bit of negative, and negative starting to come in again. Okay, so yeah, this makes sense. We see this move to the downside. Okay, so anyway, that's what we're looking at here at the moment. And yeah, I mean, for me, I'm still kind of flying blind here without seeing the order flow, right? So you can put the heat map on here now. This is excellent. You've got your footprint, but now you know where the limit buy and sell orders are. And that's going to give you additional insight other footprint charts will not. They just won't. They can't. Right, so we can see, for example, look at this sell volume in here. What did it trade into? What's the context here? Well, traded into high liquidity. Okay, we've sold off from our 010. We got to, or our 10. We got up to 10. We were looking for that move, and then we've sold off through back down into that kind of 06 liquidity in here, or 0550. Okay. And now we're seeing a slowdown, and it makes sense, okay, because we're trading into high liquidity. Okay, this here may cloud your judgment. You'd be looking for continuation, but now you have a context of understanding liquidity in this area here. Okay, that will keep you from selling in here. Okay, in fact, now we have a context in here. We'd look for maybe buyers to come in back up above this little range in here, and they are right now. But look where they're trading into. So we got to see a lot of buying come in here, and we're starting to actually. Okay? We need to see a lot of buying in here if they want to trade into all of these sellers and then some, and then back up to our 09 up here. Okay, it looks pretty good, looks pretty strong, right? So we see some high liquidity coming in now here. They've just pulled and added higher, right? And they're adding on the bid here. Okay, so this looks pretty good for maybe continuation here up into the swing high. Okay, but let's look at Bookmap and look at the. You can see the big delta in here too on this candle. Okay, but let's look at the volume dots and bars, and then the heat map as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like in Bookmap. Okay, so that you guys, I think it's important to kind of understand the relationship here between this liquidity and and this footprint type here, and what it looks like in Bookmap. And in fact, let's take the footprint off for just a minute. Okay, and you can actually keep the bars down here if you want, and we can just select none and none as our type, deselect it there. And now we can look at this. Here's our relative volume in here. And we had looked at, and this is beautiful. I'm kind of sad to miss this by looking at the footprint chart. Hey, look at that relative volume come in here. It's looking great. Now we know what it looked like in footprint chart, but in Bookmap, look at it here. Okay, so not only did we come back up to this 09 or 10 swing, we're seeing it just slightly break it, but we're seeing a lot of buy volume in here. Okay, so we're still looking for it to go higher, and they're bidding up here at these higher levels as well. That's also a good sign. Okay, it's a good sign that we are going to create a potential next value area back up above. Okay, so it makes sense that we'd be looking somewhere around this 13 or 14 level. Okay, great. So yeah, I'll have to follow up about access to the footprint. I believe people had access due to the beta, but I'm not sure after that. All right, let me see if there's any questions in here. Sorry, guys, I kind of went through a bunch of stuff in here to explain things and did not get to your questions. Take a look at the Russell. Sure, we can pop the Russell in. Okay, I want to jump over to the Bitcoin though as well. Do I look at other things? Yeah, BBM. Well, I mean, for me, really, it's understanding the context of these three elements is simply the key. It tells me, for me, it tells me everything. The indicators, like you can get some additional insight for sure. I really like the stops and icebergs. That's a very direct insight. Like here's a stop run here up into this high liquidity here. I see icebergs. I know where larger players are getting filled with some of their icebergs, etc. And I have the context of the two, which I really like with these two lines here. We have the market pulse tool that I haven't gone over recently, but I'm gonna hold off for now. I can just briefly show it, I guess. I like it quite a bit. I know you guys have been using it a lot. I mean, God, we have some really new great features coming out with Market Pulse, the next release, and it's due out really soon. So yeah, well, I'll be demoing some of those things in there. We have multi instrument in here. We have multi. So let's actually press play on that. So this is showing me the volume pressure of Apple and Microsoft together. It is kind of a synthetic instrument in here. And then we can just look at, I just have volume pressure. This was actually from the configuration from our Axia Futures webinar last week. Okay, so yeah, here it is. Okay, so now I have the ES, volume pressure imbalance, versus two important bellwether stocks, Apple and Microsoft. Okay, so if I now here, Apple and Microsoft selling off hard here. I don't have the you guys in YouTube will hear it. They're selling off hard. Now, what about the ES? So I'm looking at a confluence here, and I don't have to look at Apple and Microsoft as separate charts. That's a beautiful thing. I can just watch this and listen to it. You can give it a certain sound as well. There's different sounds you can positive and negative that you can select down here. Also higher time frame stuff. I just look at simple candlestick charts, to be honest, and just to get a feel for the range and kind of the size and color of the bars. Pretty simple stuff. And for me, this is even, here's a daily chart over here on the right. I'm left, hourly in the middle, and a 15 on the right. But for me, these bars in here are just a kind of a watered down understanding of the context of those three elements, even on these higher time frames. I really mean it. Like, you know, you can understand that by the bar in here, open, high, low, and close, you can understand this context between this relationship in here. Like this strong move in here and this breakout here on this day is no different to me than this breakout in here, and then looking for a continuation. It would be the same thing on, even if we zoom in way in here like this. Okay, I'm actually seeing more sellers now. Okay, get back up in here though and see those buyers, and it picks up. I would look for those buyers to break out up into 10.5 and 11. Okay, so same ideas, same concepts. Okay, your high liquidity in there, sellers starting to come in. I'm not seeing much in here right now, but a bit more selling. So let's see, actually see if sellers can hit it into 05. There they go, into 07.5 and maybe 06.5 now. And you guys heard over in YouTube, you heard that in the ES here. Darren, you can look at the live market. Of course, we have the live window here. Everything to the right here is the current order book. It's the heat map here. So this is the COB column that stands for current order book, that shows you the liquidity per price level. Okay, and you have a histogram, so you have a graphical representation here too. What we do, here we go, guys. Let's see if we can get our buyers now to lift it back up into 10 and 11 here. Okay. How is Apple and Microsoft doing? Not too much. Okay, but this is telling us it wants to go higher. Okay, and again, I hate to say things like that. This is not actionable information. This is just order flow reading. Okay, you will need to put this together into your plan. But we go through this in the Bookmap Academy and these webinars in here. And then give feedback on your content as well. All right. Russell, I'm going to look at the Russell. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. You've been lost in Axia videos for days. Shark Blue, yeah, they're great. They're really good traders. see. Yeah, no, compulsive guide, the drawings are saved in Bookmap now in 7.5. I think Alois, yep, thank Alois, you're fantastic. You can save the drawings now in 7.5. Okay, so just use that new version. Okay, so now let's see. Here our bellwethers starting to ping. S&P, we have high liquidity here. But we need to see it move away from that high liquidity on strong volume. It's looking pretty good. I think we're going to do it, guys. Up into 11 and a half. I mean, I like this is telling me something. This volume pressure from the bellwether stocks, the confluence. And again, it's telling us something. Even though we're getting convoluted kind of messages in here, high liquidity, we're trading into it, trading into it, trading into it. Okay, I'm still looking for buyers to kind of snatch this away. And probably at 10, though, I wouldn't want to get involved until I see that these sellers are trapped and we're looking for a squeeze here. All right, so let's see it, buyers. Let's see if you can squeeze it now. And let's see if we can get back up into these areas up here. Okay, again, Apple, Microsoft. Let's see it, S&P. See that we see sellers in here fighting it. We want to see them get squeezed though, and move on up. S&P is interesting. It's selling off now. My assumption was that because of Apple and Microsoft, S&P will follow suit after. It did not. Okay, it didn't work. Okay, well, let's see if we can get a reattack back up here and then see if we can get the breakout. Okay. Anyway, let's take a look, jump over to the Russell and zoom out a little bit. Okay, Russell's been moving up pretty nicely. Heavy selling in here, but we've broken back up above it. Look at the relative volume again. Now here, we're making actually a lower high a few times. We're seeing sellers in here. Okay, so have we made the transition now? I would look for sellers to drop it. We're seeing the buy volume here, the retest lower highs, sellers. So we'd look for them to try to break the range or this small range here, and then break down to I don't know, maybe 45 or 45. Let's call it something like that. Right, so this is the order flow that's making up a potential double top up here. Okay, and we do see a selling cluster here. Now, for this to work though, you can't see buyers back up above here. We're looking for sellers again, and now hit it down into our swing here. Maybe 45 and a half here is our first swing, then 44 and a half or so. All right, so that's what I see in the Russell. Let's jump over back to Bitcoin, and I want to follow up here where we kind of left off earlier when we started the webinar. Guys, just to, have fun with this. This is all part of the for Bookmap Academy. It's only for Bookmap Academy. It's this crypto competition. It's all free. It's open to everybody. You just have to join the academy. That's all. That's free as well. It's no big deal. But if you're interested in that, then let me show you where you can go. Go to bookmap.com, click on the more button, go to under community here, go to Bookmap Academy. It's just bookmap.com/academy. And then you apply here. You can read through it here, what you get as part of the academy. It's steps in here. First name, last name, email, and we do need your Discord name and apply. Okay, so anyway, the more about the competition in here. I can't wait. So it's it should be a lot of fun. It will be after Carmine Rosado's webinar tomorrow. So his webinar is at 4:30 East Coast time tomorrow. And then we have the crypto competition on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. East Coast time. That's when it will kick off. All right, so what we're going to cover it exclusively in the Bookmap Academy meeting Thursday later, okay, and go over it. And we're going to look at lots of trades. Trade your heart out and enjoy. Experiment with different things. There's all sorts of prizes that you can win. You can win your an annual Bookmap Global Plus subscription, a 6-month subscription, or a 3-month subscription. You can also, we're going to have 2 other prizes that come along with it. And that will be based on your content and your trading activity. Okay? We want to see transactions. And we want to go, just like our regular Bookmap Academy meetings, but with transactions. And we'll give feedback on that. And there'll be 2 winners. That'll be cash prizes for those 2 winners, 1 per week. It will go the entire rest of the month, this competition. So that's the fun part. Like, it will always be going, always be a part of it. So you can intensely get involved or just mildly on the side and play around with Bitcoin. I mean, look at, God, I should have covered it. Strong buy volume, some selling, strong buy volume, not too much selling, strong buy volume. Yes, we're looking for this to break out up into probably up in here someplace. Okay, so maybe back to 63,600 or so. Anyway, I'll have more details for you guys regarding this. And what we're going to utilize as well, though, is the trading statistics that you can add in here, and then your trading journal. Okay, so with your trading statistics, let's see, it should be, yeah. Okay, I've already provided feedback. Then you'll just check the box up here for send data to the trading journal, and then you'll see the trading journal here. It'll pop up in your browser. All right, and then I need to sign in. And then you got your trading statistics in here. Biggest winner, biggest loser, total wins, total losses, profit ratio, profitable trades, losses, trades, average winner, average loser, and then you've got your record of all of your trading activity in here, which gives you entry, exit, profit, buy or sell, and then your MFE and MAE, okay, which are very important to understand. Maximum favorable, excursions, and minimum, or maximum, I'm sorry, maximum adverse excursions. Okay, so we want to look for favorable and minimize the adverse excursions. Anyway, guys, should be great to access some of these tools, play around, enjoy it, and we'll go through this in the academy, and get involved with the trading. Trade from the chart, and We'll go over a lot of the trading functionality as well. We can go over some of the things like Carmine is going to go through in the webinar, is to how to use that replay mode, etc. Okay, so to debrief your trading and look for improving, how to improve your trading functionality or optimize it. Okay, we have brackets. We're going to go through all of this kind of stuff for the next webinar on Friday. Let me see if there's any questions in here. Yeah, so the BBM, this is the journal. Oh yeah, you'll have to trade through Bookmap for this. That's the only way it's recorded. Yep. That trading journal is in a beta program right now, but BBM, I don't know, maybe reach out. Maybe we can give you access to it. It's pretty. We got what we needed, so we're kind of closed on that. But I want to open it up for the competition, so that you guys can play around with it. All right, so we just came up to the top of the range in here, but and a bit of a sell-off in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, different markets, different behavior. We see this all the time, or I do at least in Bookmap. I am still bullish in here, okay? But we want to see that strong, consistent buy volume all the way up through here, up to the top here, and see how it kind of tapers off a little bit. A lot of times you might get a breakout, it tapers off, and it comes back down and then goes back to the other side of the range as well. Just note that behavior, and if so, then maybe some of these clusters or little structural areas in here could be really good areas to look for pullbacks. Okay, like right in here, and I know it's kind of a zone in there, and where these buyers came in here as well. So this would be your pullback. Okay, so then if we're still bullish, then what are we looking for in here? Okay, we're looking for the order book on the bid to support that. We're also looking at a small structural area in here. Let's see if we can break it on buy volume, strong buy volume. Okay, we've got our pullback. So now we're looking for more buyers at the top of this range in here. And we're not seeing it. Okay, so we're not ready for it. We're not seeing what we're looking for. In fact, we're getting sellers in here. All right, that's fine. So it didn't tell us to get involved in here. Okay, sellers trying to bring it back down into some of these other levels in here. See if there's any questions in here. Yeah, that looks like you got your question answered by Alois on the dome. Nice move in the ES. We miss it again. This is looking pretty, starting to look at more like a double distribution day to me, instead of that trending day. We have a distinction right here in the middle around this 03, 04 area. A lot of volume below it, a lot of volume above it, or starting to build at least. Okay, so I don't know about, and here's why, is just look at the selling in here and in here compared to the buying. And as I say, that is breaking out. So still finding buyers. Yeah, nice move. Okay, no questions. Any questions on this competition? This is going to be kind of unique for us. We're going to go for the like 2 weeks or so till the end of the month. Okay, no, 10 days actually. The 21st to the 31st. You can trade on the weekends, etc. All right, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, then just please, over in YouTube, if you don't mind, just hit the like button. This always helps us. There we go. Look at that. Was not really expecting that, to be honest. Although we do see the strong buy volume here and here, I'm kind of surprised. Should be a nice stop run, that's for sure, and it is. You can see a big stop run move here. Right, the red line here. All right, guys. Well, yeah, thanks everybody. No more questions, it looks like. Yeah, play around with or join that Bookmap Academy and sign up for that. There should be more information about the sign up in the next day or so. All right, so for this trading competition, have fun with it. We'll be covering a lot more of it in the next day or two as well. Okay, as we kick it off here. It's all a part of the March Madness. So as you guys can see here, we got the March Madness kicking off here on tomorrow. So we're looking for tagging along with this because crypto is at all-time highs. Or it has been up here into all-time highs. Oh, guys, we could have seen that in crypto. Yikes. Yeah, and still looking for it. Hit this liquidity up here at 63,500. Yeah, that's a nice move. That's a really nice move. The setup is there, but anyway, and there's 500 just transacting right now. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming, everybody. We'll have more details about this crypto competition. And then we'll also see you tomorrow after the market close for the Carmine Rosado webinar. It should be excellent. He's always has some great things to discuss. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, I guess then. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.